Marcus Wilson was a professor of linguistics at a small university in Maine. He had always been fascinated by ancient languages and texts, but his life changed when he found a strange book at a flea market in Portland. The book was covered in dark leather, untitled, and its pages were scrawled with symbols that didn't belong to any known language. The cover smelled of something ancient, almost decaying. "This is what I've been looking for all my life," he whispered, examining it. Marcus had no idea how right he was. In the evenings he sat over the book trying to decipher the symbols. With each page he felt something change inside him. The symbols began to speak to him, as if they were not just words but living beings. Soon he began to hear whispers even as he closed the book. "Read us! Open us!" the voices were heard. One night, as he unraveled one of the pages, Marcus felt the air in his house become dense, almost suffocating. Shadows on the walls began to move, forming strange figures. He tried to close the book, but his hands wouldn't obey. His gaze was fixed on the symbols, which now seemed to move on their own. The next day, his co-worker, Emily Harper, noticed that Marcus had become strange. He was mumbling in a language no one understood, and his eyes were blank, as if he hadn't slept in weeks. Emily decided to visit him that evening, but the sight she saw in his house made her heart sink. Marcus's house was covered with drawings of those very symbols, and on the floor lay that book, glowing with an ominous light. In the corner of the room, Marcus was on his knees, repeating the same phrase, "The ancients are coming, the ancients are awakening." As Emily tried to approach him, the shadows that moved across the walls began to take shape. They were formless, but their eyes, red, burning, stared directly at her. From the shadows came a voice, deep and rumbling, "You shouldn't have come here." Emily ran to the door, but it slammed shut on its own. From behind her came a whisper that grew louder and louder. When she turned around, Marcus was no longer human. His body was contorted and his face had turned into a mask of terror. The next day, the police found only an empty house. Neither Marcus nor Emily was there. The only thing left was a book lying on the floor. But now its pages were blank, as if its contents had been consumed by something darker than time. Since then, it has been said that if the book is opened again, the whispers will return, and with it will come the ancients.